Hamilton, we're gonna discuss this one at more length. So I'm kind of stalling this one until I can talk to the AG's office. We might be able to hand it to a receiver and have them clean it up and essentially take it over if the owner doesn't pay it back. So I hadn't even considered this one for the receivership program because the owner had at least been contacting me.
You know, the great thing about these, and you put them in receivership, the town's not paying $40,000 a town down.
Correct.
They're getting rehabbed.
Yeah, they get rehabbed.
We gotta be careful which ones we put into receivership because we deal with abandonment issues. You know, if it's been abandoned for 2 years, it now has to be considered by the building department, can it be rebuilt because of zoning restrictions? Stuff like that can be rehabbed. But I think these, I can say it hasn't been abandoned because the owner has done a little bit of work there. So I think that's a great candidate for receivership. It's a 2-family and it really just needs a good cleaning out.
Well, what's Ricky's done
He removed some stuff from the front yard.
there.
Of course, he threw the tarps.
Nothing.
Of course, he threw the tarps to the side when he removed the stuff, so now the tarps are lying there, but
He hasn't done anything for months. I have a question on that.
please.
I didn't stop there, but I drove by very slow. The cars that are now visible, I did not see a single license plate. Now, my question here is that when we look at these abandoned buildings, they owe the town a fortune, these people, and they turn around and walk away with no repercussions. Here, I'll deed you the house, deal with it.
This guy's up to date on his taxes.
Here's my question though, is he up to date on the fines? And here's where I'm going with this. I don't know, and maybe you can ask this in the AG's next time you talk to him, but on chapter 90, they have the provision for the abandoned cars. They have a process. You abandon your car, it's tagged. Then it's removed. Then you have to go to a hearing with the town. Then you have to make amends. Paying bills, come into agreement, hand over the car, whatever it is. If not, you owe the town money and they attach your damn license, so you can't get your driver's license renewed. And I will tell you from personal experience, the abandoned car thing of people walking away has virtually been zero. Because when these people go to renew their license, and they can't, I don't care if you move to Florida, you can't renew your license. They have action. Doug Worcester Street, is there an avenue to go on the, it's either the zoning or the building on so many vacant cars per piece of property?
Problem lies in that we've tried to go this route once before, and all of a sudden, all the cars showed up as registered.
I mean, are they all plated, and do
Registered?
they all have stickers?
Registered but not roadworthy because they don't have inspection stickers.
Unfortunately, the law says registered. Now, we are rewriting the zoning laws as we speak, and I added in, and I insisted on adding in, up to 2 unregistered vehicles, but I told them also add in, and legal on the road. Because they don't have stickers. I've got some of those that haven't been stickered since 2012.
Yeah, I can't believe you waste your money on having cars register it and have cars parking you. And if they're not insured, they're not road legal for the state of Massachusetts either, so.
No, it's a blight issue, just, you know, as much as the.
But if we have different avenues we can do, we can hit them with a left and a right, and maybe we can get something done, because it's not working now.
Worth exploring.
This receivership is the first time I'm introducing this one to receivership, and if it works, it could become a good tool for us.
I hope so.
I'm happy with the
There's
receivership.
3 homes that were, one's already going that route, and you're talking about now 2 more.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay. Second
Question
on that?
on this one here?
Unless he's not finished, I'll wait till he's done.
No, I was
Okay,
just going to
but-
talk about the fence.
Okay.
Okay, 9 Rose Street.
Yep.
So the town is paying for the
The
demolition?
town is going to demolish it and put a demand on the property. If the demand is not satisfied, we'll put a lien on the property.
So we're not owning the property, but we're paying for the
We
property?
will not own the property.
We've done that, no, we've done that in several pieces.
We did that to 784 Main Street, we did that to 215 Morris Street.
West Street,
I can probably name 10 of them.
yep.
But they can't sell it, because there's a lien.
We
If they
can't
sell
sell it, we can't.
No, believe me, I'm glad it's coming down, because it's really a safety
It
issue
is definitely a
too.
safety
It is full
issue.
of
So
trash
I'm
in the
glad it's coming
backyard.
down. I applaud you for finally doing this. I don't know if you've driven by it lately,
Yep,
the guy
Yep.
has started a mini landfill behind it.
yep.
Yep.
I've already talked to him about that.
All right.
I can't prove that he's doing it, I know he is. So what's gonna happen is, right out of the gate, I anticipate there will be a $300 to $500 change order for the additional waste that wasn't there when he did the walkthrough.
Yeah, fine. Thank you.
But that will be added into the lien, and if the property ever gets sold, with the new zoning, that might be a buildable lot, so there might be some value to it. And if the land ever gets zoned, we get our money before the owner does. So I think that's a good candidate for this.
Okay.
I do have another question. What's going on with Central Street?
Oh, yeah.
Central Street, actually, the roof on 111 Central Street has been put on. It's just gotta be finalized now. Hunter Foot did fund that roof, so I will work with Mr. Foot. I have a contempt case in which I have a capias for him. I will bring Mr. Foot in with his lawyer and our attorney, and we will come up with a schedule that I will ask the courts to be very hard on, and for 66 Central, and if he fails to meet the schedule, I'll bring it back on contempt and ask to have the place demolished. I will make him aware that we are going to be hard on this schedule for 66.
I mean, this has been a year and a half.
It has.
I have a lot of
This is-
contempt for him because he's
This is
still,
just ridiculous, because this has been a year now that you've had a court order for that building to be
I got the
demolished.
court order to be demolished by December 11th of
Yeah, so 6 months ago.
2017, 6
So
months.
6 months, you've had this order and you've been telling him, so why, I just don't understand why it's not done.
It was my opinion that saving a commercial enterprise that was a viable commercial enterprise was more important than taking down the building.
Than taking down a drug house, where there's all kinds of illegal activity continually going on a regular basis.
in 111, my pet peeve, he still can't get his butt up to the top floor and shut the windows. Even today over here, they're still
Yeah,
wide
there's-
open,
It's still
and
a
we
mess.
have a pigeon coop going on up there with a restaurant on the first floor. And like I said the last meeting, I am sure he is going and collecting his rent
He
the
is not
first
getting
of
paid.
every month.
He's not getting paid.
He's not getting paid? Good, he should be paying now.
I concur.
But if he can't even shut the windows, it's like my personal thing is, I'm tired of playing with him. Sell it, let somebody else do something with it, take your licks, move on, but stop ruining our town.
There is a purchase and sales on the building.
Perfect.
111 has a purchase and
It
sale.
cannot come fast enough.
David, you want,
Oh,
why don't you, no, I
Well,
would
I was
rather
just
have,
gonna say, if there's a pigeon coop going on up there, should the restaurant be closed down?
I'm just saying that because of the fact that it has a potential because the windows are open. I'm not saying it's an actual coop.
All right.
That, I'm just saying that with the windows open, it has the potential of the birds going in there.
Okay.
okay, David?
so I do, okay, so right now, we've got some type of deal with this guy that's gaffed us off, or gaffed you off, or all of us, right?
Yep.
Okay, but you got a capias on this guy.
Yep.
And he's still gaffing us off. The ability to be arrested, and this guy still doesn't care?
I make argument that as of this meeting today, the roof is getting done, and that was what the deal was. So he's not gapping us off anymore, and I will say it's not him, it's the new owner. But I have assurances that he is financing it, and my deal with him was that if he would get a roof on that place so that Fidel's could stay, then I would work with him on 66.
What specific building do you have the capias for?
I have the KPS for 66 Central.
66 on the behind the hair.
Further down,
That house
in the
is-
back.
The one that we
Boarded up.
declared uninhabitable
Mhm.
a year and a half ago, almost 2 years.
No,
Then that's the one.
That we
wanted.
dragged Mr. Guerrero in
Yeah.
for
yeah, lesser.
and gave him
Yeah.
such a hard time about.
We had this guy coming in for months for lesser issues. I mean, I got it, it's a little bit of black mold here and there, you know, but this guy is really, he really, I don't know,
There are no words.
you
So
know,
the
we can go
will,
on, but I like
the
to see
will of
guy
the
go.
board is to fast track whatever is happening here. I think that's pretty clear. I mean, if we can get, we've been on this long enough. So whatever you can do to push this along.
Yeah.
And I think it would be reasonable to make sure that there's an update, that we have a line item update on this for next month, right? That we actually make this
Even though you took him to court, even though you've taken, the town's taken him to court, can't we have him come in here and give us an update on what he is doing?
I'm going to request his presence.
I'd like to have that happen. I haven't met the guy yet.
Yeah, I think so.
We'll invite him into the next meeting, for the
Okay.
next regular meeting.
Yeah,
Okay, thank you.
that's a good idea.
Okay, one question on that. 14th I'll be here. I just want to say, who cleaned up Worcester and Henry? Another building that we tore down, a building we don't own.
I do not know, it was cleaned up about a week prior to our Earth Day.
And I'll tell you, it looks great.
Yes.
I thought maybe you had asked the DPW to go down because we
We
had
did not
that
have it.
discussion that he didn't reply. The owner has been another one of these.
I did not ask DPW to step on.
Okay.
That remains private property. That
Whoever
remains-
cleaned it up, thank you, because the area looks a lot better,
That looked great.
a lot better.
Okay. All right, let's move on. Agenda item 7B, curbside trash update.
Andy Franklin, talk about
The
the.
fence looks
Oh, I'm
fabulous.
sorry, I skipped
That
that. I
looks
looked at
fabulous,
blank.
At the,
So that's-
at the board's request, I did reach out again to Franklin Properties. We came to terms that he would remove the broken and damaged and fallen pieces. He would assess the remaining standing pieces to see if they are imminently threatening falling. And he would remove all of the patchwork fencing that he had put up to basically still cordon off his property. Also, he removed all the, if you haven't had a close look at these fences, it's a piece of metal fence with a bracket that goes backwards and another bracket that comes out of the ground. He also removed the tripping hazard, the falling hazard, and the impaling hazard. He is still seeking legal questions regarding, he's fairly confident that the fence does not serve as a guardrail. However, the fence does prevent people from falling into the river as they stumble along the sidewalk. He's under no obligation to protect people from that. By having protected them from that, he needs to find out if he can remove that protection. And if he does, what he has to put back there. So he's still seeking some legal advice. I, however, would put forth that the blighted portions of the fence have been removed, and our authority to tell him to take down good pieces of fence, I think, is kind of weak. So,
I agree, it looks fabulous compared to what it did.
David?
You had that letter from him that your agreement letter?
I wrote the letter to him after we talked.
Right, you said it, did everybody get one?
Yes.
Yeah.
Sorry.
What are you special?
I thought I was that day. I thought I was the only
You were on
secrets.
vacation?
You were, Dave, we only sent it after you said, did we get this? And I said, "Quick, send it to the board."
Many
But did I
definitions.
ask that same question again?
Okay,
Not that smart.
all right, let's move on. Agenda item 7B, curbside trash update.
Okay, when we adopted the new regulations, I stated that we were going to spend the winter doing education, and thereafter we were going to start fining for violations. The emphasis on the education has been basically uncontained trash. So as of May 1st, we started fining for uncontained trash. We're averaging anywhere from 4 to 7 tickets a day, but it's starting to dwindle off. So I believe word is getting out there that we are ticketing.
It looks so much
You
better.
were ready to go, what?
All of that fits.
Okay. Next step in education will be non-compliant containers.
Okay,
We don't plan to fine for non-compliant containers. What we are doing is buying stickers and flyers that we can attach with, obviously I'd rather not sticker somebody's can, but I will.
there's a ton of them.
That says this is a non-compliant container. It cites the section of the code that describes the containers. And then at the bottom, it's going to say the town of Southbridge / Casella will cease collecting from these cans. So my intent will not be to fine. We'll do the education probably for a month and a half to 2 months. Probably June 1st we'll start, depending on when we can get stickers. Has Eric ordered them? All right, we'll get the order out this week for the stickers. My intent will not be to ticket for non-compliant containers, but literally to just leave them there. Have Casella stop picking them up, leave them there, and the owner will be responsible to get it into appropriate containers. and put it out.
They'll find the proper container if they're not picked up. Any
Do we have
questions?
confirmation that every property owner has a can? Today was my area, and I see a lot of non-compliant containers, no trash out, containers with lids, which is good, but none of the town of Southbridge containers. So we have confirmation that everybody got it and they just were using it for mulch, or what are they doing with it?
Okay, the law specifically doesn't say town of Southbridge containers. It describes a container, they can get it from Home Depot if they want. We did make an attempt
No,
to
these,
deliver,
yeah,
to
these are,
deliver them to everybody.
Yep.
We have identified a couple of areas. That little loopy road off of South Street is one of them. They went down, but they didn't go around the final loop. So, as we find these places, we are getting containers out to them. I'm sure people are gonna contact us, when they get those tickets, they say, well, what containers? So, we will work with them to make sure that we get them containers. We do have a list of everywhere where containers were delivered, and the serial number that was delivered there. So if somebody calls us up and says, I never got one, if we look it up and the container's there, we'll be like, yeah, there was one delivered there, and, we have there is gonna be a deposit for replacement containers. We have to sustain the program. In order to sustain the program, we have to charge a replacement cost, so.
Anybody else? If not,
Mike.
Mike.
I was just gonna suggest, when you put a sticker on the non-compliance, that you just say the town of Southbridge will give you a container for free of charge. Maybe that will encourage them to get one of your containers.
Or if you haven't got a container,
If you
please
haven't got
contact.
one,
or from verbiage, if we refer them to the bylaw states your first one's free, and what happens if you destroyed the second one and it's all in that bylaw anyway. So referring them to that might be a way with smaller
yeah.
language on
put
a,
it on the sticker that
Yep.
we will supply you with one.
The problem is if we've already supplied them, I don't want them to come at us
right.
saying you owe me a container.
Well,
I gotta be
like
real careful
you
with the
said,
words
if you
I do.
don't already have one, we will supply you with
Okay,
Will you, Andy, on that, will you point them to the information also? I'm sure we have information online.
I can probably add that on. We're gonna
Yeah,
have the
instead of
section,
having so much.
we're gonna have the section of the code containing describing the containers
Yeah.
on the sticker. For further information,
Yeah.
contact the Board of Health or
Or go to the
check the regs
website.
online.
Yeah.
We can do that.
okay, all right. Nothing else there, let's move on to agenda.
I do have one
I'm sorry.
other question for Andy. About those gardens over on,
Charlton and Worcester.
thank you.
I knew where you would be.
And cross,
I am, in
cross Oakland, cross.
Cross. Community garden.
Yeah, how come nobody, how does anybody go about utilizing that? Because I think I asked you this before and I just can't remember.
As with Beautify Southbridge, we try to develop programs and hand them off to somebody in town.
Okay,
And,
so who runs that?
So Center of Hope took over, or is a strong entity in our Beautify Southbridge. And I believe it's not Trinity, it's which church?
One of the churches. I'm
It's
not
one of
sure.
the churches on Hamilton Street.
Holy Trinity on Hamilton Street.
They've taken over assigning those out,
Oh,
so.
because they haven't assigned them out. And it looks kind of,
This one did.
yeah.
Well,
That's
people
why I
have to
was-
know where to go and request.
Well, yeah, that's why I was wondering, because, with the revival of the agriculture committee, I just thought that that would be something good for them, would be to work on a community garden. Wasn't sure who, how we did that and who was responsible for that, because it doesn't look like anybody's interested in doing anything with it. And I know that the committee seems to be interested in wanting to do all kinds of things, and not that I'm trying to give them work, but.
Can I just, right now, we're on curbside trash pickup.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, we do have both the health
Oh,
director,
fine.
we do have the health, and we
I
do
just
have
answered a
board.
question, that's all I wanted to
No, I know, but that was fine, but now we're getting into a whole discussion on it.
No, we're not.
Let's
I'm
go
done.
through this. We started getting into a
No, we
discussion.
didn't.
Maureen was going to.
I'm done.
I thought you were going to then start this. All right, so let's move on to 8A.
Tuesday?
You need some mallets.
No.
So, did you?
Dave, I can bring your mallet next time.
Okay, bring it.
I got a helmet.
You have a recommendation for the Worcester Regional Tobacco Coalition personnel as agents to the board. Do you have a proposal for people that you would like to?
We had two members of the Worcester Regional Tobacco Control are agents of this Board of Health for purposes of doing youth access attempts and citing the violations and issuing the penalties. We had a ticket that was unfortunately lost to us because they hadn't been appointed as our agents. So it's a hardship for them to get in here regularly on a yearly basis. So I would ask for a motion by one of the members of the board to appoint Megan DeNubia and Sarah Jack as agents of the Board of Health for up to 3 years. I will move that request up to the town manager's office, and if the charter allows him to appoint them for up to 3 years, he'll appoint for 3 years, and then they can come in once, get sworn in, and move. I did write should this be approved, should this board vote yes on this, I did write a memo that will be signed by Dave Williams. As the Board of Health has confirmed their intent to continue their affiliation with the Worcester Regional Tobacco Control for assistance in developing regulation and enforcement of the regulations on tobacco use, including youth access. Members of the Board of Health voted unanimously on May 10th, should you decide to do this, to recommend both Ms. Megan DeNubia and Mr. Eric Jack as agents to the Board of Health for enforcement of the town's tobacco regulations. With this said, the board respectfully requests that you put forth Ms. DeNubia and Mr. Jack as agents of the Board of Health for up to 3 years as you determine the charter allows. Thanks for your cooperation and attention on this matter.
Now, the Ms. DeNubia and Mr. Jack, they worked for us in the past, and they continue to work for us now, and there's no real change. The only change is that we want to extend that to a 3.
And do it right.
They worked for us for several years. Last year, that ticketing question came up, and an attorney came in here and said,
They weren't agents.
they're not agents of the Board of Health. They were never appointed, they were never nominated.
Right, I remember that.
So we appointed them for 1 year. The Southbridge Charter requires agents swear in. So some of the other towns don't. A lot of the towns are doing this now because Southbridge brought it up, but they don't require them to swear in. Southbridge does. So for convenience of the agents, I'm asking for a motion to nominate Megan DeNubia and Eric Jack as agents for up to 3 years. And Mr. San Angelo has the final appointment power on that.
Okay, so if
Where they from?
we,
The Worcester Regional Tobacco Control Coalition.
So we're taking them, so there shouldn't be any, from that coalition, so there shouldn't be any specific, and it says specific to that, right? So there shouldn't be any question because they're not town residents.
For purposes of, they don't have to be agents of, I'm an agent. of the
Okay.
board.
Okay,
all right,
The agent,
before we have a discussion on it, we need to have a motion and a second, and then have the discussion, rather than do it the other way. So if there's a motion and a second,
Ready?
yeah?
Well, you have the paper, so.
You have to pay.
Yeah, wait.
You want?
I'm waiting for everybody to done. We're done.
Okay.
Okay. I make a motion to recommend both Miss Megan DeNubia and Mr. Eric Jack as agents to the Board of Health for enforcement of town's tobacco regulations.
Okay, motion,
I'll second.
second, Elizabeth second. Discussion, do we want to continue? No?
no,
What you were
he
saying.
answered,
Okay.
yep, Good.
Anybody else?
makes sense.
Okay, so,
Just to sign. No, you
we
gotta vote on it.
haven't
first.
voted on it yet. So with no other discussion, all those in favor?
Hold it this way.
Okay, all those in favor? All those opposed? Unanimous, as you predicted.
Did you put the effective date, the to and from, no? Just 3 years?
An appointment for 3 years, Mr. San Angelo can appoint his appointment. They are current with the town
Sarah, they currently.
until August.
So we're just extending it. Okay. Anything else for that? All right, fine. Agenda item 9, chairman's announcement, none.
No.
I must have one, but I'm trying to think, but no.
All right, moving on.
Moving, well, my announcement is Elizabeth should So, agenda item 10, health director announcement, Earth Day update.
Um,
Yes, I was there.
I know, I saw it on Facebook.
yes.
I'm so proud of you.
So, I made sure I was in front of the camera, right? I was throwing myself.
Wearing a vest?
Wearing vest,
We're in the best.
sheriff's vest.
It says birthday update, but we are very diligently trying to put our own title on this as Beautify Southbridge. So we had an event late last month to clean up the town. We had over 100 participants in the event. I believe our 2017 event had between 60 and 80. We pulled out several hundred bags of debris, trash, which left on the curbside and Casella picked up in their regular route. And I want to thank Casella for that. Just the turnout was amazing. The day after that, I came into work and I was like, the streets were clean. It looked great. I will say a lot of people participated prior to the event. Again, I can't speak of Southbridge's pride more than I adequately. People show up, people clean the street. When there's an opportunity to do good in this town, the people do it. I'm very happy to be working with this town and with a population that is just, that they're forthcoming. They always volunteer. So,
Okay, that's it?
that's good.
Okay. Agenda item 11, board members' announcements. Let's start from the right. Roland.
Couple of questions. See, you sat one chair closer. Couple of questions. The donation boxes. All week, go to work 5:30 in the morning until today. Austin Wickers was terrible. Bunch of trash behind it, bunch of trash in front of it. 5:30 in the morning, I saw somebody park there rummaging through the trash. The trash looks much better, but they couldn't bend down and get the trash that's under the boxes. I will say, seeing it today, it was clean except the stuff under. I'm just wondering with the regulations, have they been whacked every day for not policing your property?
I received a complaint regarding, I've been out of town for a couple of days. I received a complaint regarding this particular box. Gave Mr. Eric a call from out of town, and I said, I want you to get your eyes on that. We told these people that if that wasn't clean by noon on any given day, we were gonna ticket them. So I want you to get up there and I want you to get that cleaned up.
And that's my point, in all fairness to you. There's more than you in the office. I know, a lot are busy. You do an enormous amount of work, but there's other people out in vehicles that can make a phone call, and these other town employees that see these things, make a damn phone call. There's people that we hire to enforce, that are within the office to enforce it. And we got away with at least 4 days of
Non-compliant.
education and non-complying with the rule. Number two, I don't know if you knew it, I just saw a box up here on Worcester Street. Is that new to you? Right after Southbridge Gas, just before the old Coop School. There's a
Oh,
blue,
yeah.
a blue or green, no, nothing around it. It's clean. But that one,
Between the gas station and Coop
it's
School.
where they do the,
It's been there for a while.
has
It's
it,
a different color, Roland.
Yeah.
You know, I noticed it too. I'm like, oh, you got a new one.
it's where the rental trucks.
I talked to him before.
What I need
I
to
was
do
over
on
talking
that
to the
one
guy.
and on Thomas's, there's one right beside Thomas's
So
Variety.
those are on
Yes, in the
vacant
middle.
lots.
I have to determine, have the lots been combined with the neighboring lot? If they haven't, then they have to be moved to the occupied lot. They cannot exist on a vacant lot.
Okay.
As to your first comment, yes, there are other people in my office. It's my team.
I realize
I'll
that.
take the hit for that.
No, no problem.
And I will
Have
return to my
these-
team
I
and
did
see if
notice-
this doesn't happen.
I noticed the communication went out to all the people that you had information on, to say, hey, we signed it, step up. Have they stepped up and come in
And have we, sorry.
and did their application, paid their fees and got the lot? None of them.
So,
So we
Not
are
a
going,
one.
so we are going to check the regs, find out how long we gave
Yeah, I
them to
can't
comply.
we didn't,
Yes, we did.
Yeah, we did. I can't remember what it
I
was.
can't remember what it was, but I
I
will
thought it was
check the regs.
30 days.
Well, then
60 days.
none of them are compliant and they all need to go.
I will check the regs, I will find out how long we gave them to comply.
Yeah.
If they fail to comply, I will send notice that they're all out of compliance and that we're gonna exercise, if they don't make them compliant, we're gonna exercise the town's right under the regulation, and we're gonna remove the boxes, hold them for 30 days, and then
I
destroy
don't
them.
have a copy, it's online.
And we will post the boxes.
Planet Aid, who has 5 boxes here in
Yeah,
town,
that's
did
the
get
yellow-
back to
The
me,
yellow
right.
ones.
They did get back to me and
Yeah, they were in the
notified me
office.
that the orders for the signs to be posted on the boxes were placed. They're just waiting for that order to come in, and then they were gonna sign the application.
Okay,
Cut the
because
check.
I remember the day they were in the office, they
Right.
seemed to be forthcoming.
Yeah.
Because we were, in her voice, a lot more forthcoming to them as some of our larger cities around us.
We also
But the
have,
green one, the other one, I didn't catch a name.
we also have, the green one is,
It said-
usually Planet Aid, isn't it?
No, that's the yellow one. This one just says clothes and shoes that I could see.
There is one on,
Where else did I
at
see it?
CVS,
Yeah,
that CVS says,
that's another
we
one.
don't know anything about that, and Maureen Julie says, we don't know anything about that. So when we contact the box owner and tell them to get it registered, per Dave's request,
There's a
our registrations require ownership signature,
Mhm.
property owner signature.
Yep,
So if they can't get the property owner signature, we're gonna order them to remove it.
they're trespassing if they don't get, if they can't get the owner. Okay,
Okay.
I
Thanks,
think
Ron.
that's all I got, thank you.
Do you want me to skip you and come back?
No, that was all I was gonna bring up was about the donation boxes. Andy and I had a conversation about it yesterday, a few conversations about it, and again, you know, we worked really hard to make these regulations, and, you know, there's no enforcement. Why are we not enforcing these regulations? People are not watching these donation boxes, nobody's coming in to register these donation boxes. Who cares? We'll just, you know, let everybody do whatever they want. It's
Well, when we start removing
infuriating.
them, then they'll
It's,
come in.
it's just infuriating, and I shouldn't have to drive past the same donation box for 3 or 4 days and then call your office and say, you know what, if I'm driving past it 3 or 4 days, why is your staff driving past it 3 or 4 days and why are they not issuing tickets? And that was the discussion that we had yesterday, and that is just beyond infuriating to me. I thought that part of the job of the enforcement is to be out on the streets, checking everything, the trash, the recycling, the donation boxes. It's not being done and it's unacceptable. And I'm just tired of seeing it. And the only other thing that I wanted to say is that, I don't know if everybody saw, but the state house voted to change the smoking age to 21 yesterday.
Missed it.
Nice.
So,
And vaping, vaping
yeah,
was
they
also.
too, yeah, it was,
Oh, they include vaping?
yes, so the
Oh,
House okayed it to make the minimum age for smoking and vaping to 21
That's minimum age to purchase.
to purchase, right? Now, that said, they did say that it would be, anyone under 21 would be grandfathered in unless the town specifically has the ordinance against it. So, just putting it out there. That's
Okay, all right,
I'm done.
David?
Just 2 things, because that's all been taken. Blight online. When can we
Oh.
have a date?
I was letting
I
you
want-
mention.
I'm willing to come in and
Sit down. And let's
Do
set
it.
up a working meeting, I wanna do this with you, I also want to have another pre-meeting of the incident command center.
so we'll sit
Oh,
down,
sit down.
because I'd like to get that done like next week.
Okay.
That'd be great, we can put it online now. I mean, we talked about this since November.
Okay.
So I'm willing, okay, I'll come by, well, after this, set up a time. And
That's the, put signs on the yard?
signs on the yard and the,
Website.
my goal, I would like, is to have the top 10 blighted properties in this town, and put it online and put it in bright yellow highlight. and-
Solar lights
Yeah.
for nighttime?
Yeah, whatever that, little alarms, literally online, so that'd be great, bells, whistles, I don't care, reindeer.
Yep.
Okay, alright,
Leave the window alone,
then, the only other thing I had is the beaver permit that we authorized.
Yeah.
Um,
There was a request for extension, he asked me how to go through a request for extension. I told him I couldn't issue a request for extension. I would have to go before the board again, and the board was gonna have to wait a month. I mean, the board wasn't meeting for a month. So essentially, what happened was he tracked it for 10 days, he pulled a significant number out, but they didn't get them all. So I called Fish and Games, and I said, Fish and Games can give you a extension as long as you have the primary one with us. Fish and Games can give it directly and bypass the Board of Health. I called Fish and Games, confirmed that, read the regulations. So I don't know what happened on his end from there, I assume he went to Fish and Games.
Isn't it still trapping season?
No, it's
No, it's
over.
over.
April
Oh,
15th
okay.
it ended.
All right.
That's
Oh.
it.
Okay, there's another.
That's all I have.
Actually, no.
Tony?
So,
17th.
Andy, last time I was sitting here with you and I was talking to you about my own personal experience with recycling and how I actually said, wow, I've reduced my trash. It was amazing how much I did it, which made me start to go think about, are we doing anything or do we have anything where we can start to push out some more information about recycling? I know there's some confusion, what plastics, what contaminated pizza boxes. I don't know if people understand that, you know, you can't be putting that greasy thing into the recycling bin, so.
So can I, we're planning on doing something at the high school with the environmental club to, the environment.
Why don't I do video?
So then we can,
So with the video, the ones that do video.
yeah,
But I think we're going to do the video people, have them do it rather than the environmental, because it's more acting. They have to act it more rather than
Yeah.
just more acting than content.
so we'll have for video, so that'll be online somewhere too,
Yeah.
and
Put it on the school's, what is it, 191? The school's cable access?
Yeah,
For
so we're gonna
education?
kind of cable
We'll put it on our
access
cable access, we'll put it on our
on
website.
the website,
Um,
and we could put it on Facebook.
Do you have an idea for what you wanna do?
No, we needed to talk, with it was the recycling thing, it was, so I have